Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm from Ukraine, and I have decided I will vlog daily from my country to keep you updated on our real life situation during this awful war with Russia. And of course you have to see how we all are going to win this evil monster Putin, his regime, and Russians who are actually blessing this war with their silence. Today I want to update you on the situation with electricity, because so far this is the main challenge that we face in my region. Thank you so much for the words of your support and the coffees that you buy. This definitely adds more optimism. And I have turned on this journalist mode and try to absorb all the things that change in our life, how quickly we adapt. And there are even a couple of jokes that perhaps I will start with. Joke number one, that it is earlier, it was important when like you were rich if you had a car or something like that, but now you're cool if you have a generator. Or like the best boyfriends are those that have generators. And like another joke is like, it was cool that you were working IT before the war. Now it is cool if you are an electrician. So anyway, people are trying to adapt, and we realize that typically Russians need a week or 10 days to gather new missiles and once again hit our infrastructure, and our task is to be able to somehow grab this infrastructure back when we have this short spell. But yesterday we did not have electricity in my house during all the day, and it appeared at 2 a.m. and you wake up with this like light in your flat and you have doubts. Should I take my shower? Should I start uploading something? Should I check the emails? But the desire to continue sleeping does not let you, or maybe in future we will switch to this night modes, I don't know. Ukrainians are quick to adapt because we don't have any other choice. In the morning I was able to have like warm water and electricity, and then we went to the hospital with my mom. Everything is according to a plan, but first of all, my observations about hospitals during this blackouts. When we came there, there was no electricity already. So they turned it off, and now I don't have it in my house, they don't have it in the hospital. This means they have to turn on lots of generators. And when people who came to the hospital walk the corridors, they have to be attentive because there are lots of cords lying and the sound. And of course, they are not able to turn on all the hospital. They have to choose the most important parts and rooms that need light, like intensive care units where people after operations. And for me as a teacher, I always think that illustrations work the best. When you look at some things, how it all happens in reality, you get a better understanding of how it is for Ukrainians right now. So what things changed in the hospital from my conversations with doctors, with nurses in this journalist mode? Well, first of all, they cannot make generators work all the time because they consume a lot of petrol, and this can be really expensive. For example, in one of the big hospitals in Ukraine, this generator, it's like 75 liters of petrol per hour. 75, so you cannot have enough for a long period of time. That's why they try to save even the work of a generator. Then operations are postponed because there is no electricity and nobody wants to work on generators, because still they don't guarantee normal supply of electricity. And you don't want, for example, anesthesia to go out, or some people have this breathing apparatus during the operation that they need, control of heart rate and all of that. So no operations. Then it is important to remember that there are lots of medicines that need to stay in refrigerators. And when no electricity, no refrigerators working, and still you have to control it all the time to switch them to generators. But sometimes you have this like half an hour that you need to get to the hospital or something. I mean, those people who are responsible for turning on generators and so on. So this is another problem. Things like X-ray, like computer tomography aren't working at all because they consume huge amounts of electricity, and no one can afford them right now when we lack electricity in the system, and generator can never cover the need for that. Another thing that we forget about is that when this electricity appears and disappears, we have this bad differences in voltage, or how to explain it, but many electrical appliances can get spoiled. And when we talk about like computer tomographer, that is super expensive. People cannot afford that. So the majority of services like that, like X-ray, computer tomography, is not available for Ukrainians right now. Also, things that need to be sterilized, they need superheat and they need electricity, and they are not able to do that. So there are a number of various medical procedures that cannot be carried out right now in Ukraine. Plus, also take into account that in the hospital there are lots of people who do not feel really well, who had their operations, who go through chemotherapy, or who feel like pessimistic about their health. And imagine them staying in total darkness in cold rooms. And I think that doctors and nurses, they are superheroes because they stay for nights, they look for additional kills and other stuff, and they also think about all these medications, how can they be saved, how can they be preserved. There are lots of people on duty who know when to turn on or to turn off generators. People sometimes even buy petrol for their own money. And it's difficult for patients to travel, and many of them want to stay per night, for example, and how to cook food, and many things. And this is, for example, in my city, Lutsk, that is considered one of the most safe zones in Ukraine, because we don't have like Russian orcs on the streets. We have not many missile attacks. We did have victims, but not that many as in the east, south, or in Kyiv, for example. But they managed with this electricity terrorism to turn everything off. And for me, like hospital is a place that must be like always protected, must be sacred, even for the worst people on planet, but not for Russians. They continue shooting hospitals. In Zaporizhia last night they destroyed one, maternity houses, and all of that. So there is nothing that like their morale prevents them from doing. I think that's why Russia must be punished, and very seriously, because even war can look less ugly if people respect some international rules or Geneva Convention or whatever you say. But here it is something totally different. And I think there are lots of victims of this war that are not considered direct victims, because we don't think that someone like died in a hospital because he could not get an operation. It doesn't look like he died on a battlefield, but the reason of his death is actually war. So another observation is like university. What is going on in the university? Nothing, guys. Because it's dark, it's cold, and like you cannot have online classes. You know that very often when we had these dangerous days, we had online classes. But right now, I don't have electricity, I don't have internet. I have mobile internet, short spells, and I try to catch these moments to upload my videos. I do not always answer, but I read a lot because, once again, I cannot do it. And it's a very bad feeling, like when you want to upload something and you cannot. You cannot share your story. And an interesting observation was in a supermarket, and I think I will share. First of all, many of them work on generators, and this light that you get from a generator, it is very gloomy, like you don't have enough light. They don't set generators on maximum power, and as a result it blinks like in these horror movies. And many people group next to these shops that have generators, and it looks so weird, like you see crowds of people in dark streets standing next to these supermarkets. Also, you start thinking about the product. So for example, I will not buy meat or something in a supermarket because many refrigerators didn't work properly, and many meat products and fish products disappeared. Then people started buying canned food and various things that can be preserved when they are dry. And also there are huge queues for cash ATM machines. People try to get cash because if there is no electricity, you cannot pay with your card. Many of us use card. We have like advanced digital technologies in Ukraine, and our banks are super in that. But now you cannot use it because you don't have internet, they don't have electricity or internet connection, and as a result, all these transactions are impossible. Now you will see why I'm not a professional vlogger. I tried to record you a small queue next to an ATM. Have a look at it. Well, you see, I was really afraid to do that because sometimes you can get in trouble in Ukraine while filming us, and I did not manage it. I was actually on this escalator and tried to catch, but there were like 50 people standing in a queue, and they tried to get the cash to be able to pay with cash. And I was smart enough. In Ukraine, you can take money from your card at the cashier's desk while buying products also. I don't know why people did not think about that and decided to stand in a queue next to an ATM. I did that in a better way. So I bought the products I need, and I also got the cash. And there are queues because people feel a little bit nervous. Nobody knows what will be with electricity, how supermarkets will work, and when we have this 2-3 hours of electricity, we try to buy everything and places are overcrowded. Also, there are special points where you can warm yourself up, drink some tea, charge your phones because they have strong generators, and they also have internet. Once again, I was nervous to film, so have a look at my improvisation. This is a special point where you can charge everything. They have generators working all the time and some internet connection, but it's pretty low there, and there are different points like that in different locations of Ukraine. This one is not far away from my house. Actually, yesterday I tried to upload my video from that tent, but there were many people inside, and the internet connection fell. Like it was impossible even to download something, not even to upload something. But I think that this point demonstrates you how quickly Ukrainians adapt to the problems. These are actually tragic and huge problems caused by the existence of the largest country in the world, Russia, that is also a terrorist state. Please speak to your politicians, speak to your friends, speak to those who doubt. Russia is a terrorist state, and it must be stopped and it must be punished, because with every day as this war continues, it gets more and more dangerous for us Ukrainians and for the rest of the world. Because you see, they don't follow any rules, they destroy our infrastructure. This is just electricity terror, nothing else, but this does not stop them and makes them more dangerous, because we do have atomic power station, they have nuclear bombs, they are eager to do various kinds of provocations and other stuff, and we have to stop this war. The sooner the better. It is not only about the victims of Ukrainian people, but it is also about the danger and craziness of Putin grows bigger with each passing day. Let me know what are the things you would like to know, and I don't know when will I be able to upload this video. And we are working hard with Sasha on Soviet myths debunked, and in this telephone regime trying to find the photos that we need for illustration, so hopefully we will manage to do it until the weekend. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for buying me coffee today. I plan to buy some candles because I like it when I have candles in my house, and it makes me feel more optimistic during this bad days, really bad days. And what terrifies me the most is that it is just the beginning of winter, not even the beginning of winter, and we already have so many problems. Let me know what would you like to know about my country, Ukraine, and the situation right now, and thank you so much for your support. Please subscribe to my channel to get the updates as we go through this really complicated period, but I'm sure we will win together with your support. Slava Ukraini!